Hi guys, it's reaction time. We got Def Leppard and Rejoice. Well, my history with Def Leppard. In my opinion, pioneers of the type of music that I love. I go all the way back from the beginning. Probably my brother was the one that turned me on to Def Leppard, all the way from the debut album. I remember listening to Wasted all those years ago, a single my brother had, and then I remember the album, of course, On Through the Night. High and Dry, man, it's just one of the best albums ever, from the 80s. Well, in general, it's one of the best albums ever written. And then, you know, Pyromania also alongside of that, one of the best albums ever. Pyromania made other bands at that time doubt themselves. It was that good. It was ahead of its time. Amazing album. I think I prefer High and Dry. I am a High and Dry person. It all depends when you get into the band, doesn't it? But I don't think I've seen a massive, you know, we think about bands that make a massive leap from one album to the other. I think the On Through the Night to High and Dry, you know, the difference in the band, songwriting wise, you know, the production on the album, everything about it was just perfect. And you know, I did a long drive yesterday and listened to my massive stay list, and Def Leppard, of course, are on that. And songs come off of High and Dry and they stand beside bands now and they destroy them now. A lot of bands. Amazing album. I wasn't a fan, and I'm not a fan of Hysteria, and not much of a fan of anything that came after. You know, it's just one of those things that I understand that people love Def Leppard. You know, think a lot of fans, if you did a poll, they may vote Hysteria as the best album. You know, across every fan in the world, Hysteria could come out as the best album. Nowhere near for me. Nowhere near. But there's parts of Hysteria I still liked. But man, it wasn't the Def Leppard I knew. And it's weird because they haven't made, you know, Def Leppard themselves, they haven't made a secret that, you know, they're not that band. That, you know, like they love 70s glam, for instance, which I don't. So like when they bring out 70s glam sort of songs, I always think of Def Leppard as the pioneers and the starter of a movement, and that, you know, people would emulate them not emulate a sound from the 70s, you know, pop sound from the 70s. It's just my opinion. And I know that no matter what I say about this song, if I don't like it, I will get grief. But Def Leppard are such a massive part of my life and the music that is all across this channel. It's not a fact that I can't not cover them. I quite enjoyed Take What You Want from the last album, but even then, it just pales in comparison to past material. I think I got a bit excited when I first listened to Take What You Want. They had some guitar, heavier guitar, and I sort of lost my mind that, oh, you know, like we all do. Are they back? Oh, they're going to write. And then over time, you know, that song itself, just taking that song itself, it just doesn't even stand next to anything they've done, you know, in that High and Dry and Pyromania period. In my opinion, by the way, this is all opinion based. Don't get the you can have an opinion, and I don't mind what your opinion is. But, you know, some people say, I know I'm going on a bit, I do apologise. You can skip to the reaction if you want. Some people say, I think when I had a bit of a go at Def Leppard in the past, it was like, how can you expect them to do it? They're never going to write an album like, you know, you want them to. And then you look at other bands, not just in the melodic rock genre, but, well, and in the melodic rock genre, but look, that have done albums in the later stages of their career, like Def Leppard are, that are amazing. You know, you got bands like Scorpions. Their last album was, man, spot on. AC/DC's last album, you know, it might not have been close to, you know, classic material, but it was a really good album. Judas Priest, bit heavier. But man, one of my favourite albums, maybe my favourite album, Judas Priest. Then you got Testament, thrash, but produced one of their best albums last year. Striper, bit of a different kettle of fish, but these are bands that have been going, you know, early 80s, at least some late 70s, producing some of the best music of their career. So all I want is Def Leppard to get somewhere near it. Rant over, and I am really open-minded to this song because I want it to be good. This is the difference. I don't want to put it down. I want to be behind Def Leppard, but I want them to produce something, you know, something that sounds quite exciting, something a little bit fresh. I think that's been my most problem with Def Leppard. It's almost like they're just churning them wheels, you know. But listen, I'm here for Rejoice. This is Def Leppard. Here we go. Well, it hasn't got that glam sound, which I don't like, which is good. It's more of, you know, a melodic rock sound. It is very, you know, hysteria, maybe adrenalized, you know, that sort of period, it feels to me. I think Ralph said about the, you know, the effect on Joe Elliott's vocals, that sort of, I can't even explain it, but it's sort of got that effect on it. It's almost like that alternative, a lot of alternative bands have it, on the verses, that is. Yeah, I don't like that either. It sort of almost gives you that 90s alternative feel, and Def Leppard ain't that, are they? They're not that. I want them to be classic. But that, again, I'm wanting a lot here. I understand that. It's rocky. It's got guitar. It is very Def Leppard. You know, there's no doubt about that. It is so Def Leppard. They are creating that sound, that pop rock sound, if you like. Again, I didn't expect them to do High and Dry. I want them to, but I don't expect them to. So I'm lowering my expectations. I've learnt that over the years with some certain bands. You have to, you know, you just have to. You're not going to get what you want. But I mean, you know, it sounds big. my favourite part of it is the bridge to the chorus. That's really catchy, that bridge to the chorus, and it gives me, I don't know, that part, just that part alone, that vocal melody leading to the chorus, that gives me hope for really good things maybe on a future album. That part of it is just the real sort of ear candy bit of this song. But it's not as in ear candy as in run of the mill. Like, I think the chorus is a bit run of the mill. It's just like, it's almost like that bridge builds me up to something, and then the chorus is very catchy but just very pop, just what you'd expect from them at this later stage, what we've heard from them. I'm not going to get excited about the guitars being up in the mix. We had Take What You Want, and then the album, for my opinion, the last album was a bit of a letdown, so I'm not going to get excited because there's guitar. Next song could be something that's just awful, but it ain't bad. Do you know what I mean? But I listen to so much music now, and I hear bands that kick fucking ass in this sort of genre. So I suppose when you're comparing it to new bands that have finding it hard to even, most of them have got a job as they write their new album. They have to have a full-time job because the music industry is so different. You're like, man, this band should be massive. And then you've got Def Leppard. They deserve what they've got, by the way, but mainly for those first couple of albums, like I said, maybe the first 3 albums. But then, they are very just regurgitating the same stuff while these bands all struggle. It is, Def Leppard have, like I said, they've earned their stripes, I suppose. But it just depends what sort of fan you are. I've always said that when you become a fan, if you became a fan of Def Leppard when Hysteria came out, it's more than likely that's what the sound you'll prefer. If you become a fan at a younger age like me, when you heard, On Through the Night and especially High and Dry, that's the sort of fan you are of Def Leppard. So it's a weird one. We can all enjoy Def Leppard the way we want to enjoy them. I'll just put High and Dry on, and I'm not, by the way, before anyone thinks it, I'm not a sort of person that just lives in the past. Definitely not. If you check out my channel, if you're new to this channel, because you could be, because Def Leppard are a big deal, people just search for Def Leppard. This might be the first time you've heard me, tuned into my channel. If you check out my channel, it's all about new music, whether it's older bands creating new music, or if it's newer bands creating new music. That's what it's all about for me. So I'm not a live in the past, I won't listen to anything else from Def Leppard person. Definitely not the case. It ain't bad. It's not exciting me. I think the energy went out of them a long time ago, the hunger. And you could say, who blames them? But then again, I look at the list, or think about the list I reeled off earlier on of these bands that have been going for years. I feel that hunger in them. I feel that they're going for something still. Anyway, here we go for the rest. Yeah, man, it weren't bad. Some good slide guitar there. I don't know if I want Def Leppard to play slide guitar. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm all for bands like that go for different stuff. But I suppose, like, you know, when I hear a band on its later legs in their career, I suppose even if they've like delved into stuff which is fine throughout their career, you almost want them to go back to the beginning in it and say, look, this is what we got. It sort of is going back, not uh, right back to the beginning, but this song almost, like I said, it's from that hysteria stroke adrenalize period. To tell you the truth, though, I mean, I would listen to this song. I'd rather listen to this song than some of that stuff off those two albums I just mentioned. That period of, and some of that is to do with listening to those, hearing them songs too much. I mean, it's been everywhere. That every song was nearly brought out as a single on Hysteria, wasn't it? And you hear them songs just constantly. My missus plays them, it's on her playlist, and I'm like, man, you know what I mean? This could be like the 3,000th time, probably more than that I've heard this song. But I don't know. But it's weird, isn't it? I can listen to High and Dry for the rest of my life every day, and I wouldn't get sick of it. It just depends like I said, what sort of Def Leppard you want. But it wasn't bad, was it? I hope they gear more towards this sort of stuff than that glam. Like I said, that 70s glam stuff. But I don't think they will. I think they love that much. You're going to hear that, Mark Bolan, T-Rex type stuff, which if they like it, they like it, but don't mean I have to. Anyway, that was Def Leppard and Rejoice. Please don't be too hard on me. I am an early Def Leppard fan, and I will always give Def Leppard a chance. That weren't a bad song. And again, the bridge, love the bridge. But it was very paint by numbers, Def Leppard, the period that I'm not ultra keen on. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, though, guys. See you soon.